Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Let's dive into what's shaking up the NFC West, and more specifically, how it could dramatically alter the 49ers' quest for another Super Bowl appearance. It all comes down to a potential trade rumor that's swirling around the league, particularly involving the New Orleans Saints. Yep, that's right. The Saints, currently sitting at 2-5 with their pass ranking 25th in the league, are reportedly eyeing a bold move that could send shockwaves through the division. The buzz is that the Saints are considering trading their promising young wide receiver, Chris Olave, to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. This is a massive development, folks, and it's not just about acquiring a talented player. It's about reshaping the entire offensive dynamic for the 49ers, especially with the recent injury to Brandon Ayuk, who's now out for the season with an ACL and MCL injury. Let's take a step back and really appreciate who Olave is. The 11th overall pick in the 2022 draft, Olave has shown flashes of being an elite-level wide receiver, with undeniable potential to become an All-Pro. His stats are impressive, with over 500 yards in just 2 seasons, 28 touchdowns, averaging 6 yards per reception, and a PFF grade of nearly 89. That's a player who can stretch the field, create mismatches, and add a vertical threat that's sorely needed for the 49ers. Especially now with Ayuk sidelined, the Niners are looking for someone to fill that deep threat role, someone who can take the top off defenses and give Purdy more options to work with deep downfield. Olave's 4:39-second 40-yard dash time speaks volumes about his speed, comparable to Metcalf, and you know how dangerous he is when he's in full stride. His explosiveness is a game changer, and he's proven to be reliable when healthy, with a top-tier PFF grade of 94 in recent games. Now the Saints are in a tricky spot. They're currently 2-5, and their offense has struggled, ranking 25th in passing yards per game at just over 204 yards. They also sit in the bottom half of the league in pass efficiency, with a pass ranking of 25th. Their quarterback situation isn't ideal, with Derek Carr showing flashes of brilliance but also inconsistency. EPA per play at 13 indicates that the offense isn't quite clicking. Plus, the Saints' defense, especially their run defense, has been leaky, allowing over 142 rushing yards per game, ranking 26th overall. Their cap situation is relatively flexible, with room to maneuver, and they're looking to rebuild with youth, especially on defense. Interestingly, they're also planning to extend cornerback Lattimore, which shows they're still committed to building a solid foundation. But the big question is, can they afford to pass up on a player like Olave, especially when they're already behind the 8 ball in the division? That's where the 49ers come in. San Francisco, sitting at 5-2, holds the 17th ranking in yards per reception at 5.9, but after losing Ayuk, their offensive firepower took a hit. Adding Olave could be a game changer. Imagine Deebo Samuel, who's already racked up 682 yards and 5 touchdowns, working alongside Olave. The deep route combinations, the mismatches against defenses, it all becomes so much more dangerous. In fact, adding Olave could boost the 49ers' EPA per pass vertical by around 18%, which is huge. It's all about stretching the field, opening up those underneath routes for Kittle, who's been solid with a PFF grade of 86.8, and giving Purdy more explosive options. You see, Purdy has been performing well, with over 2-0 passing yards and 13 touchdowns, but with a deep threat like Olave, his big plays and yards after catch could skyrocket. That's exactly what the 49ers need to elevate their offense, especially in the context of the upcoming playoff push. And folks, the impact doesn't stop there. With the injuries and the upcoming schedule, the 49ers are looking to maximize every advantage they can get. The addition of Olave could turn into a true X-factor for their playoff run. Imagine him lining up on the outside, running deep routes and burning defenses, much like Hill did in 2023 with the Dolphins against the Rams. The odds are also shifting, with betting markets giving a +6-0 chance for Olave to make a deep playoff TD. But now those odds are tightening to around +200 as the potential move gains traction. That shows how much this trade could be worth, not just for the Saints or the 49ers, but for the entire playoff landscape. Now, looking at the bigger picture, this move would be more than just about acquiring a talented receiver. It's about strategic positioning, about how the 49ers could accelerate their offensive timeline with a player like Olave in the mix. It's about giving Purdy another elite weapon to work with, especially in high-pressure situations. And with the upcoming game against the Seahawks, where the secondary has been vulnerable, having a player like Olave could be the difference maker. His speed and playmaking ability would force defenses to adjust, creating more space for Samuel, Kittle, and even other receivers to operate. The 49ers have shown that they're willing to be aggressive at the deadline, and this move could be the kind of bold statement that propels them beyond the NFC giants. But let's also not forget the strategic considerations. The 49ers are currently ranked 17th in yards per reception, but their post-AYUK numbers show an 18% increase in EPA per pass when adding deep threats. They're looking at the bigger picture, how to take advantage of mismatches, and how to break down defenses that are stacking the box against their run game. Olave's speed and ability to turn short catches into big gains could elevate their offense to a new level. Plus, with Bosa injured, the defense's X-factor is somewhat diminished, making the offense's explosiveness even more vital. When Warner is out, the defense loses some of its edge, but adding a deep threat like Olave can help alleviate some of that pressure, especially in field position battles, gaining an extra 2 yards per game in field position thanks to his threat. Of course, all this hinges on whether the Saints are willing to part with Olave and whether the 49ers are willing to part with that first-round pick in 2026. But the possibilities are tantalizing. The NFL trade deadline is always a time of drama, and right now, the rumor mill is buzzing with the potential of this move. It's a move that could redefine the NFC West, give the 49ers an even better shot at a deep playoff run, and possibly set the stage for a new dynasty. The combination of Purdy's rising star, Samuel's versatility, Kittle's reliability, and now the addition of Olave's explosive talent could make this offense unstoppable, especially when the stakes are highest. And as we look ahead to the rest of the season, the stakes are high and every game counts. The 49ers are in a prime position, but they know that to get over the hump and finally claim that elusive Super Bowl, they need to keep innovating, keep pushing the boundaries. Olave could be the missing piece, that secret weapon that elevates them from good to great. So fans, make sure you keep your eyes peeled because if this trade goes through, it could be one of the most exciting moves in recent NFL history, changing the landscape of the NFC and setting the stage for a thrilling postseason. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about this potential move? Do you believe Olave can be the X-factor that propels the 49ers to another Super Bowl? Or do you think the price of a first-round pick in 2026 is too steep? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I love reading what you have to say. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. Whether it's breaking trades, game analysis, or injury updates, I've got you covered. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Niners.